Episode 9 of Season 1 of House of the Dragon just came out, and if we've learned anything as Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire fanatics, it's that Episode 9 is usually the climax of the whole entire season, and this episode was really good. Full of tension, full of suspense, full of drama, and full of incredibly good character moments all across the board, and amazing acting. Like, this episode made me hate characters so much more than I already hated them, and this episode also made me like characters more than I originally liked them. However, I will say that this episode didn't feel to the extreme heights of most episode 9s in Game of Thrones seasons, but that's not to say that it was bad. It was still amazing, and for all we know, House of the Dragon isn't doing the exact same thing, where episode 9 is the climax. For all we know, episode 10 will be the giant climax. But anyway, before I get too deep into this video, consider subscribing. I do TV show discussions, trailer reactions, movie discussions, that sort of thing. I love House of the Dragon. I love the world of Ice and Fire. I talk about this series and this franchise all the time on this page, and again, other TV shows and stuff. And also, before I continue talking, there will be some spoilers in this video. It's not going to be a play-by-play. I'm not going to talk about everything in great detail. I'm just going to give you my first reaction, my overall first thoughts, and just some more of the main interesting plot points that I liked. So this episode centers around Viserys' death and how he just died, and it's Team Green dealing with that. And Team Black is gone. Daemon's gone, Rhaenyra's gone, everyone on Team Black is gone, which I hate, by the way. Last episode, I don't hate it. I think it makes for good storytelling. But I hate that Rhaenyra and Daemon were this oblivious and this dumb to do this. Because last episode, I was thinking that if I was Rhaenyra, if I was Daemon, if I was on their side, when I showed up to King's Landing, when I saw how sick and close to death that Viserys was, I would gather my forces. I would have my forces inside of King's Landing. I would have my people all throughout the Red Keep. I would be so prepared to take that throne the second that Viserys dies. And it would look bad, yeah, but you know that the High Towers don't want you to be on the throne. You know that your rightful claim to the throne is going to be challenged by everyone around you. It was so dumb of them to just leave and let the High Towers, their enemies, Team Green, just be in the Red Keep and have their fingers everywhere and everything. And my paranoia proved to be true, because as soon as the king dies, Team Green, pulls their strings and does their scheming, and then they get Aegon on the Iron Throne. But one thing that I wasn't expecting was Alicent and her mindset in this whole situation. She grossly misinterpreted Viserys in his last words. She somehow thought that was him saying he wants Aegon to be his heir, to be king after he dies, which I guess I can see how she thought that, but, you gotta do a lot of mental gymnastics to make his actual spoken words mean that. But despite all that, she still doesn't want to kill Rhaenyra. She still doesn't want Daemon to die. She wants there to be a peaceful, conclusion to this conflict, and I wasn't expecting that. Some other key takeaways this episode is, goddamn, I hate Criston Cole. I really, really do. He murders another dude for speaking his mind for absolutely no reason. Like, this dude was clearly standing up for Rhaenyra and also standing up mainly for Viserys, and he was in the right. And Criston Cole is a little bitch, and he murders him because he's a little bitch. This dude is just so whiny and over-emotional, and I don't like him. I really, really liked him in the first 4 episodes of this season, and then in episode 5, I thought maybe I'd still like him. I thought maybe he could still be a good guy who did one seriously fucked up mistake. But no, ever since the mega time skip, he is just proving to be so stressful to watch. But don't get me wrong, I love the actor. The actor's doing an amazing job, and I love the character. I love watching this dude on screen. Don't get me wrong, I love to hate this guy. He's doing his job perfectly. The writers, the actors, I love it. And there was a scene that was so tense when the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, I think Lord Commander Westerling, I believe is his name, and he drew his sword on Criston Cole. And I thought something. And Criston Cole drew a sword on him, too. And it was so intense. And I'm like, fucking kill him. I wanted the Lord Commander to behead that motherfucker. But he didn't, and then he took off his cloak. And I'm assuming he's going to go join Team Black. Officially, he'll probably show up on Dragonstone and, bend the knee to Rhaenyra and Daemon. There was an amazing scene where Aegon was officially named king when he bent the knee and he got the crown put on him and he got the sword. And it's kind of cool because apparently his crown is Aegon the Conqueror's crown. That's what Otto Hightower said, I believe. He said it was the crown of the Conqueror passed down from generations. So he has Aegon the Conqueror's crown and sword. And it's pretty cool. I wonder why no king before him has used these. I mean, Viserys used the sword, yes. But I wonder why no king before him has used the crown. Maybe they have. I mean, he did say it was passed down for generations. I guess what my question is why didn't Viserys use that crown? But this is Aegon II, so it's cool seeing him have Aegon the Conqueror's stuff. And then there was a badass scene where Rhaenys bursts out of the ground with her dragon right after Aegon is like holding his sword. And this was an amazing scene for Aegon, by the way. That actor absolutely killed it. He went up to that stage looking absolutely distraught. He did not want to be king. And then as he was crowned, as he held that sword, as he looked around, as he was raising his sword in the air, it looked like he was accepting it. Like he's like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I like this feeling of being a king. And then as soon as he was confronted with a dragon in his face, he was cowering behind his mother. It was like such an interesting mix of his character all in a short period of time, and I really liked it. But yeah, Rhaenys burst out of the ground with her dragon, and then she flew away after letting her dragon screech in their faces, and a couple civilians died, which it was an amazing scene for Rhaenys, and her armor looked badass. I've been waiting to see this character ride a dragon since the show started, and I'm glad we finally got to see that. But with that being said, that's a bad look. If she's seen publicly being Team Black, and that's the first thing that Team Black does is murder a couple civilians and destroy architecture, and let their dragon, again, murder a couple civilians, people aren't going to want to be Team Black. And that's stressful because, again, as of right now, I am Team Black. Anyway, that's my quick and brief thoughts on the newest episode of House of the Dragon. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments, and obviously consider subscribing. Again, I do TV show discussions, movie discussions, trailer reactions, that sort of thing. And again, just consider subscribing if you want to support a fellow fanboy of the world of Game of Thrones, the world of Ice and Fire, House of the Dragon. I talk about this stuff all the time. Just subscribe if you're interested. Thank you for watching, especially if you watch this far.